हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे ఎందుకు ఇవన్నీ ఇట్లా చూస్తూ హరే కృష్ణ 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 హరే 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 రామ 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 హరే హరే భజహురే మన శ్రీనందనందన అభయ చరణార విందరే భజహురే మన్న శ్రీనందనందన అభయ చరణర విందరే దుర్లభ మానవ జన్మ సత్సంగే దుర్లభ మానవ జన్మ సత్సంగే तारो हो ये भव सिंदूरे तारो हो ये भव सिंदूरे भजहुरे मन श्रीनंद नंदन भय चरणर विंदरे भजहुरे मन श्रीनंदनंदन भय चरणर विंदरे दुर्लभ मानव जन्म सत्संगे दुर्लभ मानव जन्म सत्संगे तारो हो ये भव सिंदूरे तारो हो ये भव सिंदूरे सीता आतप बात बरी सना ये दिन जामिनी जागिरे सीता आतप बात भरी सना ये दिन जामिनी जागिरे इपाले से विनो कृपन दुर्जना विफले से विनो कृपन दुर्जना चपल सुखल भला गिरे चपल सुखल भला गिरे ये दाना यौवना पुत्र परिजना एदान यौवन पुत्र परिजन एदान यौवन पुत्र परिजन इते की अच्छी तीतिरे इते की अच्छे तीतिरे कमल धल जल जीवन तलमल बजहुवरि पद नीति रे कमल धल जल जीवन तलमल बजहुवरि पद नीति रे श्रवण कीर्तन स्मरण वंदन श्रवण कीर्तन स्मरण वंदन पाद सेवन दास्य रे पाद सेवन दास्य रे पूजन सखी जन आत्मा निवेदन पूजन सखी जन आत्मा निवेदन गोविंद दस अभिलाष रे गोविंद दस अभिलाष रे बजहुरे मन श्रीनंद नंदन अभय चरणर विंदरे बजहुरे मन श्रीनंद नंदन अभय चरणर विंदरे दुर्लभ मानव जन्म सत्संगे दुर्लभ मानव जन्म सत्संगे आरोहो ये भव सिंदूरे तारोहो ये भव सिंदूरे हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे राम, राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे राम, राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे राम, राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे राम, राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे। प्रभुपदा 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 जय प्रभुपदा जय, गुरुदेवा 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 जय गुरुदेवा। ओ निताय गौरा हरि बो, हरि बो, हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल। प्रभात की जय। सत्य। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च। श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्ता राधाकान्ता नमोऽस्तु ते। तप्त कांचना गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी, वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमः पंकजनाभाय नमः पंकजमालिने नमः पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजांग्रहे नमो महावधन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गौरत्विषे नमः नमो ब्रह्मण्यदेवाय गोब्राह्मणहिताय च जगद्दिताय कृष्णाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन् इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरम् ॐ अपवित्रो पवित्रो वा सर्वावस्थां गतोऽपि वा यत् स्मरेत् पुण्डरीकाक्षासाभ्याभ्यन्तरं श्रीविष्णो श्रीविष्णो श्रीविष्णु हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी सन्माता जी दंडवत प्रणाम
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी दंडवत प्रणाम।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी
हरे
दंडवत
कृष्ण प्रभु
प्रणाम। दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु जी।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी दंडवत प्रणाम।
प्रभु जी दंडवत
प्रभु
प्रणाम।
दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु।
हरे कृष्णा
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी दंडवत प्रणाम।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु।
हरे कृष्णा
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी दंडवत प्रणाम।
हरे कृष्णा ज्योति माता जी लक्ष्मी कला माता जी दंडवत प्रणाम हरे कृष्णा साध्वी माता जी नंदिनी माता जी शिल्पा माता जी दंडवत प्रणाम हरे कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु जी रंगमणि माता जी श्रीनिवास राजू प्रभु दंडवत प्रणाम हरे कृष्णा अश्विनी माता जी धनलक्ष्मी माता जी सनातन रूप प्रभु जी दंडवत प्रणाम I think now we have to remember so many names new names very happy सनातन रूप प्रभु दंडवत प्रणाम
हरे कृष्ण
राजशेखर
प्रभु दंडवत।
राजशेखर प्रभु जी राजेश्वरी माता जी दंडवत प्रणाम हरे कृष्णा गायत्री माता जी दंडवत प्रणाम हरे कृष्णा सिंधु भार्गवी माता जी सुभद्रा केशव प्रभु जी दंडवत प्रणाम सुंदर केशव प्रभु दंडवत प्रणाम
कृष्ण दंडवत प्रणाम
हरि
प्रभु।
बोल I was mapping who is this for very nice सुंदर केशव प्रभु दंडवत प्रणाम हरे कृष्णा मुरलीधर प्रभु जयशीला माता जी दंडवत प्रणाम हरे कृष्णा लीलानंद प्रभु दंडवत प्रणाम हरे कृष्णा शशांक प्रभु जी दीपिका माता जी लावण्य माता जी वेनेला माता जी दंडवत प्रणाम
हरे कृष्ण गुरु दंडवत प्रणाम।
शशांक प्रभु जी how are you प्रभु जी
బాగున్నాను బ్రో।
very nice
హరే కృష్ణ ప్రభు జీ మీ పేరు మార్చుకోలేదు ప్రభు జీ.
यार ఇంకా ఉన్నారా हरे कृष्णा भास्कर प्रभु जी धन्यवाद प्रणाम so today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam 9th canto 19th chapter so I'll share my screen yeah can you all see my screen
ఎస్ ప్రభు జీ ఎస్.
connection version opening in the guest mode yeah share my screen again yeah so today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam chapter 9 of 19th canto 9 chapter 19th chapter so the chapter named as King Yayati achieves liberation so please forgive me if I speak anything wrong though it's a reading session but wherever possible I'll try to share what I learned from different Vaishnavas and acharyas if I speak anything wrong please correct me wherever needed This is only out of a service I'm doing this. I don't have any, definitely no qualification, and also as a service I'm doing this. Sometimes I may speak beyond my realizations just to serve Srimad Bhagavatam. So please forgive me if I speak anything wrong or beyond my realization. వంచకల్పతరుభ్యస్య కృపా సింధుపేయవచ పతితానాం పావనేభ్యో వైష్ణవేభ్యో నమో నమః అనంతకోటి వైష్ణవ వృందకి జై శ్రీల ప్రభుపాద్కి జై. Yeah. శ్రీసుక ఉవాచ సైత్తम् ఆచారన్ కామాన్ స్త్రైనోపహనవాన్ ఆత్మన బుద్ధ్వా ప్రియాయి నిర్విన్నో ఘాతాం ఏతాం అఘాయత. Sukadeva Goswami said, O Maharaja Parikshit, Yayati was very much attached to women. In due course of time, however, when disgusted with sexual enjoyment and its bad effects, he renounced this way of life and narrated the following story to his beloved wife. So, many Vaishnavas have spoken till now from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto to till now, ninth chapter, ninth canto, 19th chapter. So, just to give a quick context of what happened before this verse was, there was the descriptions of Surya Vamsha and Chandra Vamsha. In the Chandra Vamsha, Surya Vamsha, we also read about Sri Ramachandra Bhagwan, and also now when the Chandra Vamsha has begun, we were speaking of the different kings. Now we finally landed at Yayati, the great emperor. So this Yayati king was very powerful, and he was one of the ancestors of the Yadu Vamsha, right? So one day, what happened was there were two Matajis. One is Devayani Mataji, and other one is some Sharmishta Mataji. So one day, these two Matajis were playing in a garden. Who were they? Devayani Mataji and Sharmishta Mataji. So now, when they were playing, Lord Shiva was passing by. Lord Shiva was passing by, and they were naked actually. Those two Mataji were naked and some taking bath kind of thing in a pond. So when they were bathing, Lord Shiva was passing by, and whenever they have seen Lord Vaishnava, who is a Uttama Vaishnava, they, out of respect, they wanted to cover their bodies, right? So this is how people used to take bath in olden days, not like in a attached washrooms for sure. So, and whenever there was a incidents like this, like a man was passing by, they used to cover their bodies. We can see the same thing when the Vyasadeva was passing by behind Sukadeva Goswami. Similarly, when Lord Shiva was passing by, Devayani and Sharmishta Mataji was covering their bodies. So by mistake, Sharmishta has taken the cloth of Devayani. So instead of covering her own cloth, by mistake, out in that hurry to cover her body, what happened is, instead of taking her own cloth, Sharmishta has taken the cloth of Devayani. So as soon as Devayani got to know this, she became very angry. Why? Because Sharmishta was from the Kshatriya family. So her father was a Kshatriya, a king. Whereas Devayani was the daughter of Shukracharya, who is a Brahmana, also is the guru of the demons. Yeah. So Shukracharya was from Brahmana, and Devayani also a Brahmana, because Shukracharya was her father. And also Sharmishta was Kshatriya, because she came from the Kshatriya family. Now, because of this this caste feeling, or whatever feeling, the Varna feeling, what happened was, Sharmishta got very angry. Devayani got angry because Sharmishta has taken the cloth of the Devayani. So she became very angry. Like, how can you take my cloth? You are, after all, from a Kshatriya family. Your father rules the kingdom by the guidance of my father. If there is no guidance of my father, your father doesn't have a capability to rule the kingdom also. How can you take from that a low class family? How can you take my clothes? Kind of, she got very angry. She was biting her lips with anger. So when Sharmishta heard this, she was also same thing, like, this is not now only, like Nubentara Nubenta too. This is not only now, this is there since a long time, right? So whenever she heard these things, she also got very angry. Like, how can you scold me? Your father is like a beggar, who cannot even survive if my father doesn't give you the charity. How can you even say that to me? Because Brahmana should always beg. Beg is not literally beg, like, they have to live on the charity. From the Kshatriya family are different Varnas. Whereas Kshatriya Varna should always rule the kingdom on the guidance of the Brahmana. So these four Varnas are very dependent on each other. Such a very nice Varnashrama Dharma our Sanatana Dharma has. So when this Varnashrama is very much established, that's what Prabhupada always says. We should establish the Varnashrama Dharma. We should divide this entire Bharatavarsha into the four Varnas. When these four Varnas are established, the society can live happily without any struggles. That's what Prabhupada always used to say. This is definitely not the discrimination, because this discrimination is not based on the birth, but this is based on the gunas and the karmas that they do. So it's as simple as it's as simple as dividing the a classroom into different sections: A section, B section, C section. It's as simple as that. So whenever this discrimination is there with a good intention to live a peaceful to have a peaceful society, our society can live always happily. So I was actually yesterday, while preparing for the class, I was actually thinking, uh, in a way, maybe partially, we are actually following the Varnashrama Dharma. We are all almost everyone is Grihastha here. So I think we are all following the Varnashrama Dharma. We are using our every second for the service of Vaishnavas and the pleasure of Krishna, and to please our gurus. That's what we are leaving our every second. So I was actually thinking, maybe if we continue to live like this till our last breath, I think at least partially we'll fulfill the desire of Srila Prabhupada. So we should always lead very strict, disciplined grihastha ashramam we should live in. Whenever we leave our grihastha ashram like this, there's only happiness. There is no struggles. Of course, some small quarrels will be there for sure within a family, but when the wife and husband are serving a single point, that is Krishna. The other day I was hearing, husband and wife should be like two eyes. So two eyes should only look at one object, then only the vision will be very clear. If the two eyes are very busy looking at each other, and appreciating each other or scolding each other, that this eye is not good and this eye is not good. If the each eye complains about the other eye, or if each eye appreciates the other eye, they enjoy in the sense gratification. They cannot see the clear vision. But if the two eyes, without appreciating each other or without quarreling each other, if they only focus on the single object, that is Krishna, then the vision will be very clear and the two eyes are very, very much happy. And those two eyes should always move together, not separated each other. Like, example, if this eye rotates like this, obviously this eye also automatically rotates like this. I don't know if anyone of you observed or not, but if this eye is rotating like this way also automatically rotates like this. So if the wife and husband moves such that, then the vision will be very clear, and there is no time for the quarrels, and there is no time for sense gratification. If a grihastha can lead their life like this, I think that will be the best family, and that can definitely contribute to the mission of the Srila Prabhupada. Our only desire, our only goal of this life is to serve some Udata Bhakti, some squirrel help we should do to Srila Prabhupada mission. Srila Prabhupada has sacrificed so much for us. So we should definitely do something to Srila Prabhupada mission to take this forward to the best of our capabilities, small or big. Sri Ramachandra never discriminated Hanuman and the squirrel. So to the best of our capabilities, whatever we can do, to the best of our capabilities, if we can serve Srila Prabhupada, I think that is the success of our life. And definitely Srila Prabhupada will open the back doors if he thinks if still we are eligible to go to Goloka, right? Of course, our only mission, our only goal is to serve Srila Prabhupada. So here, this Yayati, not Yayati, Devayani and Sharmishta was quarreling. They were actually getting the Varna into the picture. How can you, Kshatriya, can do like this? How can you, Brahmana, do like this? That's why Srimad Bhagavad Gita says this. Dhyato Vishayan Pumse Sangaste Puchayate Sangat Sanjayate Kama Kama Krodha Pichayate. Meaning, whenever we focus on a object, Dhyato Vishayan Pumsa. If a person, Dhyato, if he meditates on an object, Vishayan, సంగస్తే pujayate. What happens? Jayate. Pudutundi. Develops. What develops? Attachment develops to that. And when that attachment develops, what happens? Sanga sanjayate kama. Kama krodha bijayate. Then kama develops. Kama means a deep desire to enjoy something is called kama. It may be a sexual enjoyment, or it may be a car enjoyment, or a house enjoyment, or what money enjoyment, whatever. A deep desire to enjoy something is called karma. And whenever that attachment develops, the karma develops. And when that karma develops, if that is not satisfied, then the krodha develops. Here, this is what happened with the Sharmishta and Devayani. They were so much attached to their varnas. Actually, they were good friends. Actually, they were good friends, but they were so much attached to their varnas. And whenever something happened, Sharmishta has taken the cloth by mistake. It was not intentional. By mistake, Devayani got immediately triggered. And whenever we get triggered, what we'll get is immediately to our mind is whatever we are attached to. They were attached so much to their varnas. They got so much of pride in their varnas. And then the actual thing happened. But what is our varna? Our varna is only one. What is that? We are dasa, 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 anudas. Majjanma falitamidam madhukaita bhare. The only falita that can get out of my life is what? Brutya Brutya Paricharaka Brutya Brutya Brutyasya Brutya. We are Brutya means das. Paricharaka means das. So Brutya Brutya Paricharaka Brutya Brutya Brutyasya Brutya. We are dasa 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 dasanu das. We are here it is mentioned 7 times das. So we are not das, we are dasanu das. We are not dasanu das, we are dasa dasa dasanu das. So whenever we think like that, then though no varna, no ashrama comes into the picture, and everyone, if everyone sees everyone as the child of God, child of Krishna, then everyone can be happy. Vidyate hridaya grandhis chidhyante sarva samshaya kshiyante chasya karmani drishtva evatmanishvare. Whenever we see everyone as the amsha of Krishna, then there is no quarrel, and that will kill all our karma. Kshiyante chasya karmani. That will kill all our karma. Bhidyante hridaya granthis means all the knots attached in our heart will be removed. Vidyante hridaya granthis chidhyante sarva samshaya. All the doubts will be clarified. There is no question of any doubts there. When we look everyone in the equal way, that is where all the children of God. Whenever we see like that, there is no question of having all these discriminations and quarrels, etc. So here now, actually, it is stated that what exactly Devayani was saying, that a dog snatching clarified butter meant for use in a sacrifice. Example, like this is a peaks of insult, okay? And they are insulting in their own varna. See the attachment to the varna. We are also especially if you see in this material world, we are so much attached to our caste feelings and all, right? So here also we can see that they're attached so much to varna. What Devayani is saying? Devayani is a brahmana, and Sharmishta is a kshatriya. So Devayani is scolding Sharmishta like, if a dog snatches the butter, is it meant for the sacrifice? Like it's too much. Example, if you if you think that a dog is snatched butter or ghee from you, is it for the sacrifice or it's for own enjoyment? It's for own enjoyment, right? Here also Devayani is saying that you are a kshatriya, you are taking my cloth. How can you take a brahmana's cloth? Hmm? It's like a dog snatching butter for the sacrifice. That's a peaks of insult. Hmm? And when such insult comes, the other person also, if he is also or she is also attached to that, what words comes? See here. Beggar who waits at your house, depending on us for your beloved like livelihood like crows. If you see the crows, they always wait at the doors of the houses so that they get some uh, food. So Sharmishta is a Kshatriya, and Kshatriyas always give the charity to the Brahmanas. So that's why she's saying that your father is like a crow who sits at the house or door of my house like a beggar for his livelihood. See the peaks of attachment. That's what dhyayato vishayan pumsa sangaste pujayate sanga sangate kama krodha abhijayate. Because of that starting point of the attachment or the meditation on a single thing, finally krodha developed, and that krodha also comes, the words that we choose in that krodha also will be the same thing that are related to our attachment. Because these two matajis are attached to their varna, they are actually say, scolding each other, in relation to the varna. Yeah, this is the peaks of attachment. So then what happened is, Sharmishta got angry, and because she is Kshatriya, with her power, she thrown Devayani into a well and she left home. So now Devayani is in the well. Bhavi antam kada. So Devayani is in the well and Sharmishta left home. Then one day Yayati, and generally whenever you see Yayati, you think it's a Mataji, but it's not Mataji, it's Prabhuji. Yeah. So when Yayati was wandering for vegetables and for hunting, one day he went to this well for drinking water. But as soon as he has seen inside the well, he found a Mataji named Devayani. So now Yayati is also Kshatriya. Kshatriya, no matter what, is one of the qualities should be he should protect the person who is in the needy. That's what Kshatraya means. Kshat means bhada, a suffering. Traya means one who protects. Example, mantra. Mantra means the one which protects the mind. Man plus tra, mantra. That which protects the mind, that delivers the mind. Mantra. In the same way, Pranaya Karunya Gana Ganatvam. So, with Karuna, Guru protects his disciples. So, Tra means one who protects. Here, Kshatriya means Kshatraya, Kshatra. So, Kshatra means one who protects from the suffering. Kshat means protect. Tra means, Kshat means suffering. Tra means protects. One who protects from suffering is called Kshatriya. So, because Yayati was a Kshatriya, immediately he offered help to the Devayani. So, he got her from the well and he gave his hand to come out of the well. And this is called a Panigrahana, right? Because Pani means hand, Grahana means to attract or to hold. So, because Yayati held the hand of Devayani, immediately Devayani asked Yayati to marry her. But there is a problem here, caste feeling again. Now also intercaste marriages, right? Devayani is from which varna? Can someone tell Devan from which varna, just to make sure we are on the same page? There are so many characters here. Which
Brahmana.
Brahmana. Yayati is a king, Kshatriya. So generally in the Vedic system, if I remember correct, a Kshatriya Mataji can marry a Brahmana, but not the otherwise. But here it's the case is reverse. Devayani is a Brahmana and Jayati is a Kshatriya. So immediately there was like, hesitation for Yayati to marry Devayani. But finally he agreed to marry. Then they went to Shukracharya, who is the father of Devayani. So both Yayati and Devayani went to the um, his father Shukracharya, and finally Shukracharya also agreed for their marriage. But the deep inside anger will never leave us. No matter where we go, no matter what we do, no matter how much time it passes by, but the deep inside, the anger will be there. Right? That's very danger. That's why anger is one letter short of danger. Devayani was not able to forget the insult that he got from Sharmishta. Immediately, she told his father, Shukracharya, dear my dear father, I got such a big insult from Sharmishta, uh, who is the daughter of the king to whom you give your guidance. I want to take revenge. So immediately Shukracharya went to the king. Then he asked immediately the king, your daughter did like this. Uh, so immediately the king bowed down to the Brahmana, who is Shukracharya, and asked what we can do for that. So immediately Shukracharya told, your daughter Sharmishta should serve my daughter Devayani for her lifetime as a maid servant. Maid servant. Kshatriya cannot reject Brahmana. Whatever Brahmana says, Kshatriya has to do that. So that's one of the rules of Varna. So immediately that king agreed, and Sharmishta came with Devayani and Yayati and Shukracharya. Now, these two, Yayati and Devayani, were going to their home. Atharinటికి వెళ్ళిపోతుంది Devayani. Now, while going, Shukracharya knew about the Yayati that he is very fond of sexual enjoyment. Yayati has so many sexual desires. So Shukracharya warned him, saying that be careful. Sharmishta is also coming with you as a maid servant. Never ever have the union with Sharmishta. You married to my daughter, so be careful. If you do like that, it will not be good. So Shukracharya gave a nice warning, and he left. After going home, so Yati was enjoying with Devayani a lot of sexual pleasures, and at the same time, he was also ruling the kingdom very nicely, and also he was giving charities to the Brahmanas. Nicely, he was leading his life. But one day, Sharmishta, um, in a secluded place, she met Yayati, the king, and expressed her desire to have union with him. And Yayati, no matter, this sexual desire is also so dangerous. This lust is so dangerous that when we get lust, we don't remember anything. We forget everything, no matter what. There are so many cases, like so many cases where people slipped from the greatest yogis slip down when there is a lust, right? So because Yayati got that lust, he forgot the warning of Shukracharya, and he had a union with Sharmishta, and he gave birth to some babies. Whenever Devayani got to know that these babies are the children of Sharmishta and Yayati, immediately she got angry. And obviously, when Matajis get angry, the only thing that they do is go to their mother's place, right? So Devayani was running to the mother's place, and she was telling all these things. Then Shukracharya got very angry. Mm. Then immediately, actually, while Mataji was going to their mother's place, what Prabhuji generally does, he also runs behind, saying that, "Apu, apu, please, 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 please." Poke, poke, na gauram botadi, it's an insult for me. How can I face the society if everyone gets to know? So Yayati was also running behind that Mataji. Finally, both reached the Shukracharya's place. So Mataji was running so fast, Yayati could not catch her, and finally they both landed in the Shukracharya's place. So now Shukracharya got very angry and immediately cursed Yayati that you become very old fellow, so that you cannot enjoy the sexual life anymore. But Yayati, being very lusty, without any hesitation, he was begging Shukracharya that please give my youth back, thinking that this body is eternal. That is the dangerous thing of the lusty desire. Very, very dangerous. No matter who it is, no matter how much charity you do, no matter what you do, if we are not in the remembrance of Krishna's beauty, our vision always gets distracted to some other beauty. Mm. So this Yayati was begging Shukracharya, saying that please give my youth back. I cannot be like this. I have so many desires deep inside. Mm. You might be wondering, um, when he became old, how can he still have the deep desires, sexual desires? Mm. The research says that when you become old, your sexual desires actually increases because you see so many young girls around, and no one looks at you. You are alone. Actually, you can take the example of Ajamila got the Narayana baby at the almost 80 plus years age. That means even at the 80 years he was having the sexual pleasure with that prostitute. Mm. So even that age, even when you become old, there is no wonder. Even at the deathbed, you get the sexual desire by looking at some other opposite gender. That is the power of lusty desire. Very, very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. So when Yayati was begging Shukracharya, Shukracharya was also having a selfish desire that, okay, you are my son-in-law. If you become old, who will take care of my daughter? Okay, I cannot take the curse back for sure, but I can give one, what do you call, one replacement. What is that? You can take anyone's youth back and you give your old age to that guy. You can swap actually. You swap your age. So immediately Yayati, again, without any hesitation, without any, I don't know if the word used shame or not, without any shame, he went to his sons. So Yayati was having six sons. So he was asking all the sons, please take my old age and give my youth back. Mm. Actually, none of the sons were accepting. One of the sons was Yadu, who is the in which Vamsha the Krishna actually appears. Yadu Vamsha, right? Yadu Nandana, we call Krishna. So actually, Yadu also rejected to take the old age and give his youth because Yadu was also very much eager. He knew that the Krishna is going to appear in his Vamsha and he want to speed that process. So Yadu also rejected that I cannot take. Finally, the one son called Puru has taken that old age and gave his youth. So finally, Yayati got his youth back, and the only thing after he's getting youth is the only thing he was doing is he was enjoying the sensual pleasures with his wife Devayani, and they were only enjoying that life. But one day, one fine day, Yayati realized that no matter how much I'm enjoying, I'm only getting the dissatisfaction, but I'm not getting satisfied. I'm not getting satisfaction. I want more. I want more. I want more. This is only increasing, but it's never decreasing. So one day, finally, he realized that this is not the way a man should lead his life. This is not the way. So immediately, he realized that I will leave this Grihastha ashram and I will take the Vanaprastha. We have four ashramas: Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyasa. Actually, at the age of 50, one has to leave the Grihastha ashram and enter into the Vanaprastha ashram. After 50 years, one should not work for their own material enjoyment. Actually, that is the Varnashrama Dharma. After 50, one should not work for their material desires. They should only work for Krishna. They should only focus their entire life and soul should be engaged in the service of Krishna and Vaishnavas. That's what our Varnashrama Dharma teaches us. So now, when he got this realization, he was expressing this desire to Devayani. And to explain his own story, he was giving an allegorical story to the Devayani with a goat story, and that story starts from the sloka number 1. So this is a introduction to this sloka. So whatever we discussed till now is what happened till now in the ninth canto, last couple of chapters only. So here Sukadeva Goswami is saying that to Parikshit Maharaj, Yayati was very much attached to women. In due course of time, however, when disgusted with sexual enjoyment and its bad effects, he renounced this way of life and narrated the following story to his beloved wife. Now he's telling, instead of telling directly that I did like this, I did like this, he told a story to the Yayati so that she can understand. Hmm? So this is the reason why I spent some time on explaining the stories so that we can directly read the translations and the purports from now on without much explanation. So he told like this: My dear beloved wife, daughter of Shukracharya, in this world, there was someone exactly like me. Please listen as I narrate the history of his life. By hearing about the life of such householder, those who have retired from the householder life always lament. Now he's explaining the story of a similar person like Yayati, who is also the householder. And Prabhupada is giving the purport to this. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Persons who live in the village or town are called Grama Nivasi, and those who live in the forest are called Vanavasi or Vanprastha. So something is striking my mind whenever I am hearing the difference between the Nivasi and Vasi. The difference between Nivasi and Vasi is um, Vasi is generally used when you belong to a place, is called Vasi, and when you reside in some place, it is called Nivasi. Example, I am Hyderabad Nivasi, but I am Bharata Vasi. I belong to India, but I'm residing in Hyderabad. So this is the difference, Sanskrit difference between Nivasi and Vasi is this. Nivasi means a resident. Vasi means to which you belong to. So that's why we say that Golokavasi. We say that Vaikunta Vasi. We don't say Vaikunta Nivasi. We say Vaikunta Vasi. We belong to Vaikunta. Goloka Vasi. We belong to Goloka. We don't belong to this Bhautika Prapancha. So we are actual Vasis of Goloka and Vaikunta. We belong to the spiritual world. We don't belong to this material world. Even if you see the slokas, our some acharyas have written many slokas with these words, but if you see specific sloka, Kshauni Patitvam, Atvaikam, Akinchanatvam, Vaikuntavasam, Athava, Narake Nivasam. If you see this, the meaning of this sloka is wherever I am, even if I'm in the Vaikunta or even if I'm in the Naraka, the only thing I want to see myself as the the servant of Krishna. That's what, please give me some service of Krishna is the meaning of this sloka. Here, if you see the word usages, Vaikuntavasam athava narake nivasam. Even if I am in the Vaikunta, here the Vasa word is used because we belong to Vaikunta. Athava narake nivasam. Here, if you see the Naraka, the word Nivasa is used. So we are the Golokavasis or Vaikuntavasis. We don't belong to this material world. We belong to the spiritual world, which is where Krishna resides, and if we are eligible, we should go there. That's our Vasa. We should go there. So here, Prabhupada is saying that the one who live in the village, they are called Grama Nivasi, and those who leave the forest for self-realization are called Vanavasis. Because why the Vanavasi is used is because we are not going for our material benefit, we are going for the service. That's why here Vanavasi is used. The Vanaprasthas who have retired from the family life generally lament about their past family life because it's engaged in trying to fulfill lusty desires. Prahlad Maharaj said that one should retire from family life as soon as possible, and he described family life as the darkest well. Hitvatma patam graham andakupam. What is the word andakupam means? Anda means dark. Kupa means a well. So dark well. Why the family life is compared to the darkest well is, if you see the darkest well, you get into the well thinking that there is water. But if well is a dark, that by default that means that no one is using that well, and there is no water in that. It's a useless well, right? In the same way, this material world is a useless well where you think everything gives us the happiness, but nothing gives the happiness. So in the Andakupa, in the darkest well, people go to find the water thinking that I can quench my thirst. But if you get into the well, actually you don't get any water there. Uh, but still, if a person tries to find water in that dark well, even after understanding that there is no water, that person is called a muda, a fool. uh, and we should not become that fool, exploring the happiness in this material world. The only way we get happiness in this material world also, by serving Vaishnavas and the serving Krishna. So whenever we serve like this, then this is not Andakupam, this will become Deepakupam, maybe. I don't know. Yeah. If one continuously or permanently concentrates on living with his family, he should understand to be killing himself. This is a very, Prabhupada writes very bold statements. If even after 50 years, if you still think about maintaining, of course, we should maintain the families. Means working like, I don't know, donkeys, then that person is killing himself because he's wasting his valuable human life. Bhavanam janmanamante gnanavan mam prapatite vasudevam sarvamiti samahatma sudurlabha. This human life is very, very rare. And even in this very rare life, one getting the self-realization very rare. Even if you get self-realization, understanding Vasudeva is the supreme is very, very rare. So Mahatma, that Mahatma is so rare, very, very Sudurlabha, not Durlabha, Sudurlabha. In the Vedic civilization, therefore, it is recommended that one retire from family life at the end of his 50th year and go to Vana and forest. Then what Vana we should go? We should go to Vrindavana. That's what Prabhupada writes in the next purpose. He says that Vana means for us, not the Himalayas or any secluded places. It is Vrindavana for us. When he becomes expert or accustomed to forest life or retired life as a Vanaprastha, he should accept sannyasa. When after 25 years, means at the age of 75 years, one should accept the sannyasa ashrama. See here. Vanam gato yad darim ashrayeta. Sannyasa means accepting the unalloyed engagement in the service of Lord. Vedic civilization therefore recommends four different stages of life: brahmacharya, grihastha, vanaprastha, sannyasa. One should be very much ashamed of remaining householder and not promoting oneself to the higher stages, namely vanaprastha and sannyasa. So Prabhupada is saying that you should feel ashamed even after not leaving the household life. Household life means not leaving a wife and children. It means working like donkeys even after 50 years. We should feel ashamed of it, because still so many desires. I want that house, this house, that one, that one. So much, so many desires. Actually, if we see our Varnashrama Dharma, it's very beautifully designed. At the age of 25, we should get into the Grihasthashrama. And the age of 50, we should leave the Grihasthashrama. That means if you actually marry at the age of 25 years, if we marry at the age of 25 years, at 26th year, we'll get a child. Of course, nowadays it's not like that. There is a honeymoon period, and also there is enjoying period. And if the society actually pressurizes, then children period will come. But until society or the in-laws pressurizes a person, there is no children in this Kali Yuga, right? People are so fond of enjoying visiting different places together after marriage. Um, this I don't know, this culture has come. But actually, if you get married at the 25 years, the Shobana Muhurta will come, right? The Shobanam. Actually, Shobanam, the other day I was telling in some class, nowadays we are so reluctant to use the word called Shobana. ఆ పదం వాడాలంటేనే కొద్దిగా ఇబ్బంది అనిపిస్తుంది. బట్ శోభన ఈజ్ యాక్చువల్లీ ఎ నైస్ ముహూర్త వేర్ హస్బెండ్ అండ్ వైఫ్ కెన్ యునైట్ to beget a good child. That is the meaning of Shobhanam. Shobhanam is not now it became a ritual. Like, with so much of shy, they ask Shobhana. It's not that, that's not the purpose of the Shobhana. That's not for a sexual enjoyment or the sensual gratification. That's actually the higher responsibility to give the birth to a child in a very good auspicious time. In the auspicious time, the semen of the male should enter into the womb of the female. then that is called the actual purpose of the marriage, or else it's not the purpose of marriage. It's a very wrong way people are leading. That's why Prabhupada distinguished the grihasthas also into two lines. One is grihasthas, other one is the grihamedi. Grihastha is someone who together, wife and husband should together serve Krishna. That's called grihasthashram. Whereas if they are very happy, looking at each other, enjoying each other, satisfying each other, scratching each other's back, then that is called grihamedi. That is a very polluted version of the grihastha. But that's not about the goal. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is a nice sloka. Atmendriya priti vancha tare balikama. Krishnendriya priti icha dare prema nama. Meaning, if one is so busy in Atma Indriya Samtrupti, if he's so busy uh, gratifying his own senses, that is called Kama. But when one is so busy satisfying the Rishikesha, the supreme, the what's that? The master of all the senses, then that is called prema. That is the difference between kama and prema. Though they both looks like a rhyme, but they are not the same meaning. Kama is a polluted version of the prema. Kama is something when we satisfy the senses of Krishna. Sorry, prema is something that we satisfy the senses of Krishna. Kama is something when we satisfy our own senses. So when you actually marry at the age of 25, at the 26th year you get a child, and when you're ready to enter into the Vanaprastha ashram, by that time your age is 50 and your son age is 25, and that 25 years boy can take care of your wife, his mother. So you can leave the grahastha. That's very beautifully designed varnashrama. But nowadays we are getting married at 30, 35, and by the time our son gets 25 years, we are already on the deathbed. So this is the general. So when we don't follow what our scriptures has given, our scriptures only gives two things: how to live, how not to live. Simple. Do's and don'ts. That's what it gives, or all our Vedas. And the only way that we should lead our life is serving Vaishnavas and pleasing Krishna and acharyas. That's what the way we should live. And the way we should not live is we should never gratify our senses at any cost. That's what is tapasya. If we actually look at our four regulative principles, it only gives the tapa to our senses. Example, you love so much tea, coffee is like you cannot survive without tea, coffee, but still you are surviving by giving the tapa to the senses. Of course, rasavarjam rasopyasya. We are giving higher taste to those senses. What is the higher taste? We are having nice Charnamrita, we are having nice Prasadam, we are having nice darshan of Krishna, we are hearing such a nice nectarian Harikathas, we are speaking such the glories of Krishna. So everywhere we should see. So yesterday my son Vainandan was keeping his feet in his mouth, and we were singing Kararavindena Padaravindam Mukharavindena Viniveshayantam Vatasya Patrasya Puteshayanam Bhalam Mukundam Manasa Smarami. So whatever you see, you should remember Krishna. Wherever you see, you should see Krishna. Of course, we are not definitely not Prahlas for sure, but at least if you cannot make it, at least we should fake it. One day we'll make it for sure. So we should continue to fake, continue to fake, continue to fake. One day we'll definitely make. So we are definitely not, at least I am not Prahlad. You're all Prahlas for sure. But I am not Prahlad. But at least we should fake. If you see something, you should think about Krishna. Whatever you see, think about Krishna. So, yeah, there are so many things to discuss, but again, as we are running out of time. So here, Prabhupada is strictly telling that at the age of 50, you should leave your household life and get into the Vanaprastha ashram where you can focus only on Krishna. Actually, yesterday we went to the Brahmarama Mataji's house, and while coming back, I was actually dropping Her Grace Hanuradha Mataji, and Mataji was seeing a Vanaprastha house in Tellapur. Uh, then Mataji was telling we should give some Bhagavad Gita books to them so that at this age they can nicely read the Bhagavad Gita and they get some self-realization. But the intention of that Vanaprastha house is mother and father became burden to the people. That's why they built that house and Vanaprastha ashram, and they are throwing them into the house. And as Anuradha Mataji just expressed the desire that we should give Bhagavad Gita books to that Vanaprasthashram, and that will be done for sure. One day, very soon, it will be done. Just we should hear something from great Vaishnavas or Vaishnavis, and we should just think that, treat that as an instruction to us that came indirectly to us, and we should execute this. So I'll definitely plan to give some Bhagavad Gita books to that Vanaprasthashram, and that will be done for sure. Thank you so much, Anuradha Mataji, for giving us this instruction. Yeah. So now, in the third sloka, while wandering in the forest, eating to satisfy senses, the he goat by chance approached a well in which he saw a she goat standing helplessly, having fallen into the influence of the results of fruitive activities. Now, can someone tell who is the he goat here?
Yayati.
Yayati, very ball. Who is the she goat here?
Devayani.
So now the he goat is wandering in the forest and finally approached the well, and he saw the she goat, which is Devayani. So basically, he's giving allegorical story instead of telling the direct names. He was just telling the he goat and she goat. Here, Maharaj Yayati compares himself to the he goat and Devayani as she goat and describes the nature of a man and woman. Like a he goat, a man searches for sense gratification, wandering here and there, and a woman without shelter of a man or husband is like a she goat that has fallen into the well. Without being cared for by a man, a woman cannot be happy. Indeed, she is just like a she goat that has fallen into the well and is struggling for the existence. So, Prabhupada writes little bold statements that we cannot take it with our limited understanding or limited maturity. Going forward, the more strong words will come. So, basically, here what it means is a woman cannot be happy without the shelter of a man, because woman has the more soft nature and more convincing nature than man, so they should always be guided by the man. That's why it is said that whatever the papa that the wife does, half of that papa will come to the husband, because this husband is failed to guide that wife. So whenever a husband is failed to guide the wife to walk on the path of self realization, then the husband gets the half of the sin from that wife. So husband should be very careful towards the wife, and the wife should always take the shelter to the wife. The other day, we were hearing the classes from His Holiness Bhakti Padma Saura Pracharak Maharaj, and he was comparing initiation to the marriage, where a guru will become like our husband and we will become like his wife in a way. And the only duty of the wife is to serve the husband in all the ways, and the only duty of the husband, who is the guru, towards his disciple or wife, is to protect him at all the means, no matter what. The only goal of the husband is to protect his wife, and the only goal of the wife is to serve her husband. When this formula is there in any household life, that house will be very happy and that house flourishes. Therefore, a woman must take shelter of her father, as Devayani did when under the care of Shukracharya, and then the father must give the daughter in charity a suitable man, or suitable man should help the woman by placing under the care of her husband. So, if you actually see, when Krishna was marrying the 16,000 Gopikas, so there whenever they approached Krishna that the society will not accept us, they will criticize us or reject us, immediately Krishna has given them a shelter. But we generally, most often, people think that because of the sexual enjoyment, Krishna did that. But no, husband and wife is not only meant for sexual enjoyment. That's a most misunderstood thing in this world, because people are only interested in that sexual pleasure and they don't know anything else other than the sexual desire. That's why whenever the word wife and husband, or for that matter in this dangerous Kali Yuga, whenever we hear a word called girl, the only thing that strikes even in most of the minds are sex. But a girl is not only meant for sex. That's what the dangerous society we are living in. Very, very dangerous. As soon as you hear a word, girl, people say that, but what, like, are you really serious about it? Girl is not only meant for that. It's very, very dangerous society we are living in. That's why we should always associate in satsanga, manchi sanganతో మనం ఉండాలి ఎప్పుడు కూడా. Whenever we go away from it, katham, we are done. Our chapter is closed. No matter how many rounds you are chanting, no matter how much service you are doing, no matter how much you are hearing, no matter how much you are reading, doesn't matter. As soon as you associated with the people whose mind is polluted, we are gone. We are gone. So it's called asatsanga. Dussangatyam we should never get into. So now, here it is saying that here Devayani actually approached her father whenever she needed help. In the same way, always a woman should approach is her husband or her father. If there are no two, father and husband, then they should approach her son, and if no one is there, they should approach the guru and always seek the suggestions from them, but they should never live independently. That's what our Vedic culture teaches us. So this is shown vividly by the life of Devayani. When King Yayati delivered Devayani from the well, she felt great relief and requested Yayati to accept her as wife. But when Maharaj Yayati accepted Devayani, he became too attached and had sex life not only with her but with others like Sharmishta. Yet still he was dissatisfied. Therefore, one should retire from by force. See the word here, by force we should retire. Many people think that one day I will retire. One day, if my house loan gets cleared, I'll retire. One day, if my children get settled, I'll retire. That planning should be there from the time we are entering into the Grihasthashram. But that means from the 25th year, we should plan for all these things. But unfortunately, many are getting connected to the our Sanatana Dharma or Krishna consciousness at the late ages, and by the time they are planning, it's already done. That's why we should always train our kids in this Varnashrama Dharma. They should know what is Varnashrama Dharma. They should not be busy working like donkeys till their end of the life. They should by force, the word is very by force, they should retire. We should never think that one day will come, one day will come. That one day will never come. The only one thing comes, that is a death. And then you cannot do anything. Very, very sorry to say this, but that's the reality. There are two things. One is the assumption, other is the reality. Assumptions always fail, but the reality will never fail. Reality will come no matter what. Even if we want or even if we don't want, even if we give permission or if we don't give permission, that reality will come for sure, no matter what it is. So by force, one should retire from such family life as Ayatis. See here, this is also important. Such family life as Ayati. This means if a wife and husband are actually engaged in the spiritual life, then that's a good. But if it is like Ayati, like only enjoying the sexual desires, sexual pleasures, then by force one should retire from such family life. When one is fully convinced on the degrading nature of the worldly family life, one should completely renounce this way of life, take sannyasa and engage himself fully in the service of Lord, then one's life will be successful. We should not think, Arey, who will give me the money? How can I survive? Don't worry about that. When Krishna is protecting so many creatures inside the water, outside the water, inside the fire, outside the fire, inside the ice, outside the ice, I think we are not the burden to Krishna. Krishna will definitely protect us for sure. Krishna will never ignore us. He's a prananatha. We are not anathas. We are not. We have natha. Anatha means the one who doesn't have a natha, the master. We are not. We are not anathas. We are not anathas. The one who is anatha is who doesn't have a bhakti is called anatha because he doesn't have a natha. But we have our prananatha, that is Krishna. Our prana, our mana, our dhana, everything is Krishna.
Our Praveen Prabhu's name also Prananada Krishna Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam.
Haripal, where is Praveen? Oh, is he here?
I don't know.
This is
Prananada
Prananada.
Krishna Prabhu. Krishna.
Prananada. Hari bol.
Nice, nice. Continue, Prabhu.
Yeah. Hare Krishna, Giriraj Prabhu, Sri Giriraj Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. ఎలా ఉన్నారు Prabhuji?
అంతా ఓకే. Continue, Prabhu. Story బాగుంది.
Yeah, we are missing you, Prabhuji. Hari bol. So now we are not anathas. We have Natha. We have Prananatha. Uh, so we should be actually the only person who should be very confident in this material world. అంటే చండాలంలో కూడా ఒక అండ ఉందని తెలిసి కూడా ఒక మంచి దండలాగా నిలబడేవాడు ఎవడంటే భక్తుడు. మనం ఉన్నది ఎక్కడ చండాలంలో ఉన్నాం. కానీ మనకు ఒక అండ ఉంది. ఆ అండ ఎవరు? కృష్ణుడు. అందుకే మనం దండలాగా నిలబడాలి. చండాలంలో కూడా ఒక అండ ఉందని దండలాగా నిలబడేవాడు భక్తుడు. నైస్ రైమింగ్. యా. సో వీ హ్యావ్ నాథ, వీ హ్యావ్ మాస్టర్. వీ షుడ్ బి వెరీ కాన్ఫిడెంట్. ఏంద్ర నాకేంట్రా, నాకు భగవంతుడు, నా కృష్ణుడు ఉన్నాడు వెనకాల. అది మన greatness. Of course, we should not be so proud also, and we should not reject or we should not criticize the non-devotees. That doesn't mean that we should equally respect everyone, because no matter if he's a devotee or if he's a non-devotee, everyone is the child of Krishna. The only good thing with us is we have realized a little early, and we are little early in the game and little they are late in the game. But one day, that person who is late in the game will defeat, not defeat, will cross us. So we should never underestimate anyone. We should equally respect everyone, and we should move on. We should enjoy the spiritual life. So fourth one, after planning how to get the she goat out of the well, the lusty he goat dug up the earth on the well's edge with the point of his horns in such a way that she was able to come out of very easily. So he's saying that this he goat was digging the earth with the what? With his horns, tip of the horns. In the same way, attraction for women is impetus for the economic development, housing, and many other things meant for living comfortably in this material world. Digging up the earth to make a way out for the she goat was a laborious task, but before accepting the she goat, the he goat underwent very much labor. We think that we get a lot of pleasure in this material world, but to get that material pleasure, we have to work like a labor. We are all software laborers. Aho gruhakshetra sutapa vittair janasya moho yam aham mameti. The union between male and female provides the impetus for gaining a nice apartment, a good income, children, friends. Thus one becomes entangled in the material world. So this is a very nice statement. The only thing what we can achieve, or else what Grihamedis achieves, a maximum what a Grihamedi can achieve by getting married is a nice apartment, a good income, good or bad children. This is good. Apartment is good. Income is good. Children, we are not sure if they are good or bad because we are not interested. Children and friends. That is the maximum advantage a Grihamedi can get out of a married life. Not more than this. Not more than this. That is a weird situation we are all surviving in. Yeah? When the she goat, who had very nice hips, got out of the well and saw very handsome he goat, she desired to accept him her husband. When she did so, many other she goats also desired him as their husband, because he had a very beautiful bodily structure and a nice mustache and beard, and was expert in discharging semen in the art of sexual intercourse. Therefore, just a person haunted by a ghost exhibits the madness, the best of he goats attracted by the men she goats engaged in the erotic activities and naturally forgot his real business of self-realization. This is the peaks of sloka. Yeah. Goat, I don't know. Goat, generally we give this example in the science of self-realization course. A goat, if it is haunting, if it's getting haunted by the ghost, and if there is a she goat, it is not worried about escaping from the ghost. It is only worried about enjoying with the she goat. That is the nature of a goat. And I don't know what is our nature, but I think it is the same. We are getting haunted by this material distress, janma, mrityu, jara, vyadi. But we are so busy enjoying the intercourse with this material enjoyments. We are actually getting haunted by the material sufferings, but we are so busy to enjoy the union with the material enjoyments. This is like a, I don't know. Materialists are all certainly very much attracted by sexual intercourse. Yan maitunadi grhamedi sukam he tucham. Tucham means very adama, nicham, chi chi anamata. Although one becomes a grihastha householder to enjoy sex life to his art's content, one is never satisfied. Such a lusty materialistic is like a goat. For it is said to be, if the goats are meant for slaughter to get an opportunity, they enjoy sex before they killed. Human beings, however, are meant for self-realization. Example, if the goat is getting butchered in a slaughterhouse, and if he finds the she goat, the only thing he goat looks at is the not at the slaughterer. He looks at the she goat so that he can have the sexual intercourse. Tapo divyam putraka yena sattvam shuddher yasmad brahmana saukyam tu anantam. Human life is meant for the realization of the self, the spiritual soul within the body. Dehi nosmin yatha dehi. A materialistic rascal does not know that he is not the body but a spiritual soul within the body. Prabhupada uses the word rascal just to express, like, the urgency of one. We should realize this. However, one should understand his real position and cultivate knowledge by which to get free from the bodily entanglement. Like an unfortunate person who acts madly haunted by ghosts, a material haunted by the ghost of lust forgets his real business so that he can enjoy so-called happiness in the bodily concept of life. Haribol. Seventh, we are running out of time. I'll just run. When the she goat who had fallen into the well saw her beloved goat engaged in sexual affairs with another she goat, she could not tolerate the goat's activities. Now when he goat was having union with other goats, she goats, this main she goat was not happy looking at that. Aggrieved by her husband's behavior with another, the she goat thought that the he goat was not actually her friend, but the hard-hearted, and was her friend only for the time being. Therefore, because her husband was lusty, she left him and returned to her former maintainer. Now, this Devayani went to her father Shukracharya. The word Swaminam is significant. Please focus here. Swami means our Natha. Swami means our caretaker, or the master, Natha. So Swami means Natha. Devayani was cared by Shukracharya before her marriage, and after marriage she was cared by Yayati. But here the word Swaminam indicates that Devayani left protection of her husband and Yayati returned to her former protector Shukracharya. So Vedic civilization recommends that a woman stays under the protection of a man. During childhood, she should be cared by her father, in youth by her husband, in old age by her grown son. In any stage of life, a woman should not have independence. As soon as one reads the last line, a woman should not have independence, all the people will come and say that your Vedic civilization, your Sanatana Dharma is against the woman. Oh, ridiculous this is. That doesn't mean that. Woman independent, the real independence, I always say, the real independence is being dependent on someone. That is the real independence. Because when we have independence, we are bound to make mistakes. When a child is not dependent on his mother or father, they are bound to make mistakes because there is no one to guide them, there is no one to restrict them. But when they are guided by a dependent, then we are actually independent. So our Sanatana Dharma is not against any gender, especially they are never against the woman, because if you see the Srimad Bhagavatam, there are so many stutis are there, so many stutis, Bhishma stuti, Gopika's prayers, so many prayers are there. But the first prayer that Vedavyas has given priority is to the Kunti stuti before Bhishma stuti. Bhishma stuti comes in the 9th chapter of the first canto. Kunti stuti comes in the 8th chapter of the first canto. So Vedavyas, if really the Sanatana Dharma was against the woman, or giving importance to the woman, maybe Vedavyas has given the first priority to the Bhishma Stuti, then the Kunti Stuti. But Kunti Stuti is the first thing that has in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Yeah. Being very sorry, the he goat who was subservient to his wife followed the she goat on the road and tried his best to flatter her, but could not satisfy. Now Yayati is running behind Devayani. The she goat went to the residence of a Brahmana who was maintainer of the another she goat. That Brahmana angrily cut off the he goat's dancing testicles. But at the he goat's request, the Brahmanas later rejoined them by the power of mystic yoga. So now Shukracharya cursed Yayati, and Yayati was requesting to give his youth back, and now Brahmana gave that power by his mystic yoga. Here, Shukracharya is figuratively described as the husband of another she god. This indicates that the relationship between the husband and wife in any society, whether higher or lower in the human society, is nothing but the same relationship between the he goat and she goat. For the material relationship between a man and woman is one of the sex. Yan Maitunadi Gruhamedi Sukam Hi Tucham. Shukracharya was an acharya or expert in family affairs which involved the transfer of semen from he goat to she goat. The words Kaschit Aja Swami expressly indicate herein that Shukracharya was no better than Yayati, for both of them were interested in family affairs generated by Shukra or semen. Shukracharya first cursed Yayati to become old so that he could no longer indulge in sex. But when Shukracharya saw that Yayati's emasculation would make his own daughter a victim of punishment, he used his mystic power to restore Yayati's masculinity. Because he used his power of mystic yoga for family affairs and not to realize the supreme personality Godhead, this exercise in magic of yoga was no better than the affairs of he goats and she goats. Yogic power should be properly used to realize the supreme personality of Godhead, as the Lord recommends in Bhagavad Gita. Yoginam abhisarvesham madgate nantaratmana Shraddhavan bhajate yomam same yukta tamo mata. Of all yogis, he who always abides in me with great faith, worshipping me in transcendental loving service, is the most intimately united with me in yoga, and he is the highest of all. So actually, when Shukracharya has that mystic yoga power, he could have given the spiritual realization to the Yayati, but what he gave? He gave the youth back. This is not the purpose of yoga. Actual purpose of yoga is to give the spiritual realization to the people. Because Shukracharya was also a family person, Shukracharya was also engaged in this sense gratification. The maximum he could think of giving to Yayati was giving his youth back so that he can also enjoy like this. Yada Raja Tada Praja Annattu. So, but actual yogic power should be used to give the spiritual realization, not any ordinary thing. We have left with 3 4 slokas. Will be done. My dear wife, when the he goat had his testicles restored, he enjoyed the she goat he had gotten from the well. But although he continued to enjoy for many years, even now he has not been fully satisfied. Now Yati got his kingdom back, his youth back. And with the youth, what he's doing? He's doing the same work. Punar charvita charvana, just like it's the chewing the chewed. When one is bound by affection of one's wife, one is attached to sexual desires that are very difficult to overcome. Therefore, according to Vedic civilization, one must voluntarily leave his so-called home and go to the forest. Very important. Panchashordhvam vanam vrajet. Panchashordhvam means at the age of 50, vanam vrajet. One should go to the vanam. Human life is meant for such tapasya or austerity. By the austerity of voluntarily stopping sex life at home and going to the forest to engage in spiritual activities. In the association of devotees, one achieves the actual purpose of human life. Oh, my dear wife, with beautiful eyebrows, I am exactly like that he goat, for I am so poor in intelligence that I am captivated by your beauty and have forgotten the real task of self-relation. Now, Yati is telling that he goat is none other than me only. I am also same thing. I am captivated by your beauty and forgotten the real task of self-realization. If one remains a victim of the so-called beauty of his wife, his family life is nothing but a dark well. Itvatma patam gruham andakupam. Existence in such dark well is certainly suicidal. If one wants relief from the miserable condition of material life, one must voluntarily give up his lusty relationship with his wife. Otherwise, there is no question of self-relation unless one is extremely advanced in spiritual consciousness. Household life is nothing but a dark well in which one commits suicide. Prahlada Maharaj therefore recommends that in due time, at least after one's 50th year, one must give up household life and go to the forest. Vanam gato yad dharim ashrayeta. Ashrayeta. There, one should seek shelter at the lotus feet of Hari. Next, 13th sloka. A person who is lusty cannot satisfy his mind even if he has enough of everything in this world, including rice, barley, and other food grains, gold, animals, and omens. Nothing can satisfy them. Nothing can satisfy him. Here, whenever we hear gold, we should think of Hiranyakashipu. He has two things. Hiranyakashipu. He has full gold, he has full bed, but still is not satisfied. Improvement of one's economic condition is the aim and object of materialist, but there is no end to this material advancement, for if one cannot control his lusty desires, he will never be pleased. Even if he gets all the material wealth of the world. In this age, we see much material improvement, but still people are struggling to get more and more material opulence. Manaha manashashtani indriyani prakritistani karshati. Although every living entity is part of the Supreme Being, because of lusty desires, one continuously struggles for so-called betterment of one's economic condition. To have a satisfied mind, one must give up his heart disease of lusty desires. This can be done only when one is in Krishna consciousness. Bhaktim param bhagavat pratilabhya kamam hudrogam ashva aphinoti achirena dhira. If one becomes Krishna consciousness, then he can give up his heart disease. Otherwise, the disease of lusty desires will continue and one cannot have peace in his mind. Here, the heart disease is the heart disease with the lusty desires. The last sloka for today's class. As a supply, very important. As supplying butter to fire does not diminish the fire, but instead increases it more and more, the endeavor to stop the lusty desire by continual enjoyment can never be successful. In fact, one must voluntarily cease from material desires. One may have enough money and enough resources to satisfy the senses, but still not be satisfied. For the endeavor to stop lusty desires by enjoying can never be successful. The example given here very appropriate. One cannot stop a blazing fire by trying to extinguish it with butter. So even Krishna says there are two enemies, Kama, Krodha. If these two enemies are there, our intelligence will not work. In fact, Krishna compares this covering of the intelligence by lust compared to a fire is covered by smoke. The mirror is covered by the dust, and the embryo is covered by the tummy or abdomen. So we should not cover our intelligence with the lusty desires. When the lusty desire comes, the intelligence will not work. Just like Yayati, when he got lusty desire towards Sharmishta, he forgot that he is the husband of the Devayani, and his uncle Shukracharya has given a strict warning. He forgot and he became a old man, and again he was begging for his youth back. So we should be very careful with these lusty desires. When these lusty desires comes, our intelligence will not work. And Prabhuji and Mataji's, we are in the battle which we cannot win by ourselves. We are in the greatest battle in this material world. No matter if we accept it or not, we're actually doing a biggest war in this material world. Most of the times with ourselves and sometimes with others. And in either of these two cases, we will not win for sure. 100% guarantee. We will not win. But with the help of a guidance of a coach who is the spiritual master, we can easily cross this material ocean very easily. Actually, for devotees, for non-devotees, this material world is like a big ocean. But for spiritually advanced people, this material ocean is like a calf's hoof print, which is like this much. But for samsaris, this sagar is very big. That's why it's called samsara sagara. So Let us all engage ourselves in bhakti in all the possible ways. Whatever you do it for Krishna. Whatever you speak, talk about Krishna. Whatever you hear about Krishna. Whatever you do it for Krishna. Then no Maya can attack us, because there is a thick, very bold, thick shield is there around us. That is Krishna Prema. When we are in the when we are bathing in the Krishna Prema, no crocodile will come and no crocodile will swallow us, because we are, even if the crocodile comes by mistake in the Krishna Prema that we are taking bath, that crocodile will also become a great devotee and will give us more Krishna Prema, or we will make it get Krishna Prema. So let us all be um, take bath in the Krishna Prema. Mm. Whatever, no matter what, your 24 by 7 should be filled with Krishna consciousness. That's what I am also trying to do. That is a summary of any scripture. No matter what, at any time, where you are, at what time you are, the only thing that we should, even in bathrooms, we should do only one thing, that is Hari Katha, Hari Kirtana. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. Sorry if I made any mistakes. Please forgive me like your servant. Panchakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Anantakoti Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Nice good session. Thank you so much.
Nice, Prabhu. Pavan Prabhu ki jai. Dandavat pranam.
Hari Bol, Sri Giraj Prabhu ki jai. Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. Thank you so much. We can stop the session. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranams.
Hare
हरे
Krishna,
कृष्णा
Prabhuji.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी दंडवत प्रणाम।
Hare Krishna
Hare
Prabhuji,
Krishna
Thank you,
Prabhuji,
Dandavat
Prabhuji.
Dandavat
Pranam.
Pranam.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Dandavat pranam. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranamam.
Hare Krishna
Thank you,
Prabhuji,
Prabhuji.
Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
मैं सान्या दमा हम्म
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranamam.